Last time on the Great Ace Attorney.
Call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court. Guilty!
Guilty.
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 Guilty! Guilty!
What?
Oh no.
Oh dear.
That's how I feel today, pal.
The consummation, supposition, flumidation.
Whoa, nobody's consummating
The,
anything.
the flummication, confusation.
Proclamation, declaration.
To the nation.
Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it...
Yes.
What's he doing up there?
For goodness sake, lad, will you sit back down?
Oh,
Making a scene.
Gregson.
Gregson's still here, by the
With
way.
his chips.
Your Honor, can I sit? I've got my chips still.
What?
You can see them.
Aha.
Yes, oh.
Isn't Calabash...
Calabash is the one we
The
said
main
that he
track.
would have took.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road.
Calabash.
I said Calabash.
That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down the Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
I've seen someone wearing a green... Wait. Oh my God.
has he seen the guy?
That's juror number 6 has a green overcoat.
Oh, and he slipped,
He slipped
on
on
the ice.
Calabash Road.
Oh, dude.
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books.
Oh, yes. Like you drew on the map, you mean?
Precisely.
But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Well, yes, that's true.
There's no proof that shows he did.
Well, yes.
And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he?
You cocky little
Well,
Jezebel, you.
yes, that's annoyingly true.
Winter nights are dark and cold. You'd want to get home as quickly as possible.
Well, yes. Why is all this true?
You were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was. What?
The prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Constable Rowley Beat, sir.
And I, Mrs. Beat, Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
No, don't be like that.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Disillusion Plays the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we play the games and do the voices. I'm Pete.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Taylor.
Nice. And just before we jump in, if you like what we do, why don't you hit that like button, drop a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell. And now, let's jump on in. Where did we get left? We left off with, oh yes, everyone's favourite problematic boy.
Because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate bad chancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. Oh, thank the Lord for that.
Oh, you don't have to say that.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Well, it can be, but that's what my wife's for.
Oh.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon.
Editor's note. It would not, in fact, be over in a few minutes.
What do you mean by that?
What do you think I mean, amateur? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
Well, I just don't want people to realise how harmless I am.
No Gorm whatsoever. All of it gone.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, dearie me.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rowley was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, 2 silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Oh, they did. He looks like he's fallen and hitting his head a few times as well, doesn't he?
I mean, he's got
Yes,
a bit
it
of
does.
a bumped up helmet, hasn't he?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and we went for help at the nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rowley and I saw him both clear as day.
Do you think that...
Well, how could that have been clear as day when it was foggy?
Well, they've obviously got good eyesight. They've adapted to
So,
it.
did they, get the doctor's help? They said they ran into a police box.
Oh.
They did. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Saw what they say.
Yeah.
Say what they say they saw.
No, saw what they say they saw. Not say what they saw they say. Say what they say they saw. They say
Saw
what
what they
saw,
say they
seesaw.
saw.
Seesaws, seesaw, seesaw, seesaw,
Seashells on
say.
the seashore.
Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So, if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no! Then what do we do?
Well, that's it, guys. We're screwed. Go back to Japan.
Game over. If Kazuma-sama were here.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, Ryunosuke.
Oh,
That's supposed to be the spirit medium.
I know.
thing.
I knew what it was.
I know. I'm just.
See, no, Pete, you're just singing in Morse code.
It wasn't literally.
Don't be mean. I think he would try to find the contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Well, he would have spoken to them the previous day, and he would have gotten the contradiction in their statements on the previous day rather than today, and then would have brought it up today and gone, oh, look, but you said that yesterday. Or something.
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony, which appears to contradict the facts...
Like you guys were saying about the whole clear as day, foggy.
You might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
That's right, tear him down brick by brick.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavourable conclusion.
Ugh, why do I always seem to be so up against it? We press everything.
Right, so hang on a second. We don't have anything to say. All right. I was going to say, jump straight in with the foggy day thing, but you're right. What if?
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children and the elderly can't even apply.
Oh, I just realised what your voice reminds me of. Sounds a bit like
Dahlia?
Sounds a bit like Gemma from Dragon Quest.
I suppose. Not
She does look like
country.
that.
Hello there, hero. Oh my.
Not really Cornish or country, West Country.
It's got a
enough.
little bit of that in there,
Yeah,
though,
I
hasn't
didn't
it?
mean to. It was kind of an accident. It kind of slipped in.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rowley looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling? I Oi, wake up!
I just finished my beat. Pat and I are heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. If you know what I mean. Sometimes I don't recognise you even when I see you in plain clothes.
I mean, to be fair, looking at his face, ignoring the fact that he's chewing on his helmet, he just kind of look a little bit like the random juror guy with the hat. Wait, with the hat? Because none of
He
the
does
rest
not.
But you know what I mean, right? That one
Oh.
juror with the blue eyes
Number
and the...
three.
Yes, number 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, sir, yeah. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. This is like...
What's that now?
It's like propaganda. Subliminal messaging in the video. God save the Queen. Oh, yeah, so ha 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 ha. Queen. God save the Queen. Ha 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 ha.
Jesus.
Oh, my warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man.
Wait a minute.
Sir!
London is a city, not a town.
Sir! that's fair play.
Sir, and for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. Yeah.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it.
You fight, who's that? I don't like fighting, really. I like to try and keep my nose out of trouble. But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Oh, Rolly!
Oh, Pat!
Oh, Rolly! Oh dear. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
Pardon me one moment, Mrs. Otto.
Mr. Naruhodo, are you okay?
Yes, I'm
You
fine.
appear to have been sick in a bucket.
You appear to have been sickled down your uniform.
And some of the floor surrounding it, if I'm being honest. If a little over the top, perhaps?
They want to be careful that they don't trip over and like make people think that they're some sort of rotund gentleman in a green coat.
I understood that reference.
And then, kindly describe what happened next. Please.
Well, you know what goes on behind closed doors in the house isn't really fit for polite
Oh, I
company.
can possibly tell you that. As a woman, I am not going to besmirch my good name by telling you the details of our wedding anniversary night.
Well, I can tell you though, she's got a right nice pair.
Oh, cheeky!
God's sake. That's horrible. Right, press.
Oh, did it?
No, because it's a you said it already, innit?
Yeah, sorry.
You said it already.
2 silhouettes.
Silhouettes.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction.
Wait a minute.
There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print. And like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately, it does.
And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling? Oi! Wake up!
Yes, that's right. Oh, of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight, and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's a street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians. Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you just said? Of what you've just said? Oh, yes. As a copper who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. I'm sorry, I can't
Find you
hear
somebody
you.
who
You know?
find you a person who looks at you the same way Pat looks at Roy.
As I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh,
Oh.
Susato, pardon me for another.
Mr. Naruhodo, you seem to have got some sick on your sword.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry, Kazuma. He'd understand, though. They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It is beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly, he says, slowly staring at Mr. Natsume with a withering gaze.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then when we got closer, we realised what it was. Didn't we, darling?
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. There were some old books. Oh, I see. I see. Old books. You sound like Grossman. Oh, I see. I see. Old books. I see. Old books. Old books. Oh, yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Hey guys, does anyone else remember the fact that there was a bookstore owner of your books who just mysteriously took off the same night?
It was Bourbon books, wasn't
Actually, no. Yes. Wait. Yeah, the other one.
No. Yeah, your books was closed, Bourbon Books was open, right?
it? That's the other way around.
The other way
No,
around.
I got it mixed up.
Bourbon
Books was closed, your books was
Yeah,
open.
he went to Natsume went to your books.
Yeah.
The guy from Bourbon Books did like a midnight
Moonlight flit.
That's the one, Moonlight Flit. He took off in the middle of the night. Indeed.
as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
You might say, he booked it out of there?
Very, very clever young man.
That rotten Japanese man did what he went. Oh my god.
Did that when he did the deed.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Yes, the Nipponese man. Terrible, terrible.
Hold it! Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The moustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose, everything. Taut mouth, snub nose, cat-like... Snub nose...
Hunched back? Did he have a hunched back?
I don't think he had a hunched back.
No.
Any more insults you want to
It's
throw
like
in?
Igor. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, or
The
like,
hunchback of
like
Notre
that's
Dame.
it, hunchback. Like, you're right there, Taylor.
Velvet Room theme.
Oh, of course.
Igor, yes,
See,
of course.
there we go again. Did you say this, by the way?
Yes, you
Yes.
did.
Sorry, that was me distracted.
That's right. He looked down at that poor, defenceless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his box onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife.
I thought he was a bobby.
Well, they're the same thing, you idiot. Now,
Oh.
please continue. Oh, yes, sir! Oopsie. Right, so, boop.
Hold it! Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yoink.
Oi!
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But Bobby's never truly off duty, of course. So I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see, out in the dark on her own. 'Cause, you never know who might be lurking about, and I had to keep my eye on the crime scene. Oh, sorry, she's alright, she can defend herself, and that's fine. Taught her all I know. How to kick and scream and cry out and run away and fall asleep so they might fall over you. Anyway, I told her where to find the bright police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police
I
box?
mean the one with the doctor and that. Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia to wait to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the bobby on duty.
Yeah, she
There
did,
is
she
nothing
did.
more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
yeah, she's right.
I feel a sudden wave of nausea.
Yeah, wake up.
Would you like a bucket, Mr. Naruto?
And thanks to your swift
please.
response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please. You'll
making us blush, isn't he, darling?
Darling!
Oi!
Don't mind me while I pour some wine. Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir.
What did she say again?
What's up?
Let's move on, shall we?
One day we might get through this testimony.
It does seem to be taking an awfully long
That
time.
might be my fault, and I apologise for
I don't think so. I think
rating
there's just a
I
lot.
think some of it's for rating it at this kind of speed.
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
See, it's quite slow, isn't it?
Yeah. We absolutely could, as Londoners of exceptional eyesight, and as you know.
Oh, darling. Oh,
You're hitting me.
Patricia, darling. Oh,
Right.
Oh,
The light from the street lamps was more than enough.
oh, disgusting.
And my husband already told you that the fog was the only light, didn't he?
It's really disorienting, love. Please stop. You're hurting me.
Yes, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe.
Is that something to be proud
It's true. When I went to go see them, that was the first thing I said. I said, I gotta see the fog. I gotta see the I didn't have to wait long. Because it was, it descended upon me as soon as that and the tea,
What, the tea descended upon you? You stepped off the plane and then just were awash with tea.
I just tipped it in your lap like Mrs. Garrett.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Have some tea.
It just sounds, yeah. Anyway. Excuse me. Yeah, but it is an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Oh, Patty, darling, stop.
Yes, all right, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
Yes, please, Pat, stop.
Oh.
Oh,
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we could tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? Oh, you stop yanking on my scarf, darling.
Not again. No, yes. It was the accused. I was like... A moustache, a hunchback, a cat-like eyes, a tall mouth, a snub nose. Unmistakable, sir!
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. Damn him.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Well, I'm just waiting for the butterflies
If
to
you
come
must.
out from behind her.
God.
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like... Oh, you don't believe our testimony!
Patty, darling.
Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it!
What are you doing, Patty, darling?
You see, the thing is, if I don't press you on every statement, then it won't unlock the next part of the court case.
See, now she looks like a little kitty. Like a little kitty cat.
Yeah.
What? No! Oh, no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped?
Monsieur Lecoq, yes.
There he is. Monsieur
Yes.
Lecoq is back. Oh, oui. Oh, dear.
Ah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I could tell you the names of every single one, I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
Oh, stop, Patty, darling, stop. That will do, Miss B.
No, it won't
do at all.
Oh, Patty, please. Oh.
That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of.
You're just like tugging really hard on a scarf. Oh.
Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rowley will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fists down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat.
So this will be, we press her on that, she tells us the names,
Present
and
the
it's
book
not
list.
going to match
The
the
list.
books on the receipt that we have.
Indeed. Be a picture of Madame Meow.
Oh, no.
Do not elaborate. Might
wasn't going to.
might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? Oh, for goodness sake, will you wake up?
Yeah, they
Ah,
tell you the full
wait a
names
minute.
of the books he dropped at the sea.
Well, there we go. In fact,
How many books are on the
three.
receipt?
Oh, there's
Whoopsie.
three.
There's three.
Of course.
So it's like kaboom. Immediately, it's already.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do. We're gonna play an Ace Attorney game correctly, and we're
Safety
gonna
save.
do a little safety save here, just to be sure, because we can't have any errors. And then take that, you mother!
Drop the mic. Boom.
Objection! So, you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur somebody? What's it, yearnings? A meal for someone and the thingamy something.
Well, yeah,
Okay, so there's an extra one, but
Yeah.
she has. Okay, so they did drop those, but then the
Yeah.
extra one, strange.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Well, he obviously stole the last one.
Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them.
Oh yeah, there were definitely 4 books. I remember too.
There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books.
They were definitely dirty. One of them fell with the page completely open. We saw everything about Monsieur Mr. What's-It. We saw Monsieur Mr. What's-It's, and let me tell you, it's nothing to write home about.
Way to crush a man's ego in a few simple words.
Well, he's not there, so it don't matter. Like, he's not in the courtroom, so he don't know.
How do you know? I might be in the jury. I could be hiding in the gallery. I could be hiding under the judge's desk.
I could be under his moustache. You do not know. I could be anywhere.
Now I'm thinking of Blackadder.
Yeah, for sure. The happy laughter.
But he is hung like a baby carrot in a pair of petit pois.
They have this preconception that the French are great lovers. I am French. and then
Proceeds with what Taylor said.
Anyway, I think we're getting a little bit distracted, guys. It never happens. Never happens on this
when
show.
you mention Monsieur Thingamywhat's
Thingamywhat's-It, and I suppose Blackadder.
Thingamy.
Thingamydoo.
Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I just don't believe it either.
I saw them there. I swear
Ow,
I
Patty.
saw him!
Oh, you're doing it again, Patty. Oh, ow.
Oh, stop your whining!
No, madam. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So, it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
I like that he sank down, but now he's standing up there.
Oh god, he's at it again. Oh no, I have a migraine.
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend.
What?
Sorry, I didn't catch the rest around that weird bit you did in the middle. What cannot be denied is that these two witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving.
Ah!
So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair?
He sees right through me.
But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast.
I want him to hold up a piece of bread.
To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Oh!
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection! But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. But the thing about cameras in the olden days is they had quite shit lenses. So they didn't really get everything, did they, mate?
That print? You mean to say?
I have updated.
Hiya! Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand.
Well, that could be a bloody book.
Oh.
Oh!
The Lion's Pride. Oh, that's Mr. Garridebs,
Yeah,
isn't
and it's
it?
burnt as well.
I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. No!
Oh my. Order! Order!
You see? You see? Look at that! Look, look, look!
Oh God!
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
What? Where am I? Yes, sir. My sister's always right, sir.
She said we had to get married, and she was right then.
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the
Yes,
accused.
please do.
On the day in question. On the day in question. Mrs. Beat. The titles once again, if you please.
Oh, well, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
She just doesn't want to say the name.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. Yes.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury Yearnings. Oh, I see, of course, all sort of staunchy romance novels, I guess.
A meal for someone?
A meal for
Gaborio?
Gaborio.
I guess. A meal for Gaborio. In fact. Gaborio. A meal for some dude, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book's titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rowley? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Oh, did you? You better not be trying to have my wife, so she's mine. Don't you best not be trying to compete with me, because I'm a Bobby and I will lock you up, I will. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless.
Oh, Rowley.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Patricia.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photograph. Wait, clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. Sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
No, it doesn't.
The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder what became of that 4th book.
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here, as evidence, unburnt. They miraculously restored it, you see.
No, I think it's the back of the book, the back corner of the book.
Was
you
it?
probably can't see. Yeah.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. Don't know why I said it with quite such a weird inflection, but whatever. My pleasure, my lord. I live to serve.
The second crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. The 4th book has been entered into the court record.
All right, now we have to examine the
Oh,
book.
absolutely.
Yes.
I just need to get the. There we go. The prosecution rests. Right. Let's look at the book. Let's look at the picture.
Yeah, it's the
Oh
back.
yeah, no, you're right. It is the back. Oh, it looks fine to me. Oh, nothing. Oh,
Oh,
dear.
ye gods!
gads, man.
Oh dear.
Oh, and look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
Especially not the interesting bits.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
When the sparks of marital discord flew, this house was the scene of a fire.
I love that you remember that so clearly. Like I can't remember what I did yesterday, and like you just seem to really remember that.
A book recently damaged by fire.
Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? I do so wonder.
Okay, and updated in the court record.
Can we open it?
Can we open it indeed?
We'll see the saucy bits.
It's like, oh yes, it's completely unreadable except for the first bits, which are clearly unburned.
Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard... Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. And very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, no.
Not going to elaborate, though.
No, we've got to work that bit out.
Yes. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add.
Until the next time, I do. My...
No.
Friend.
Gurgle.
What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you try to re-establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see? Everything we've said is true.
Yes. Yeah,
Isn't that right, my darling?
Yeah. Oh, yes, Pat. Oh, marry me, Pat.
I'm already married to you, Plonker. It's our wedding anniversary.
So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions.
Please don't.
Should the court waste any more time on this Nippony
A few moments later.
travesty?
He's such a dick.
Or is it the decision you have to make all too... Wait, or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
Well, good. That makes it only the third time this has happened in the same court case. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now? Raise an objection.
Raise.
Objection!
What?
I'm not done yet.
No, my learned friend. It's over.
No, it isn't.
That last
It is.
cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed.
No, it wasn't. And no, I
The
didn't.
die has been cast. There is no more room for debate.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but, Mr. Zato, help me.
I don't know what to do, Mr. Naruhodo. Maybe you could just throw this book in his face.
No, not the magic book. It's the only one she has, and it has all of the secrets.
Not my book, you fool.
Oh, okay then.
The burnt one.
The burnt one.
Of course.
I can't think of what to say.
We must use...
If I may, Lord Van Zieks.
Oh, goodness, the female wants to speak.
It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Oh, but if we close the debate now, then I would win. So, actually, I think you're mistaken. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed.
Rude.
For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like
no.
this.
Oh no, you did not go there.
Double rude.
Oh? Oh,
Don't you listen to him, Miss Susato. You are an integral part of this team. He's just jealous that he doesn't have as capable an assistant as I do. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me. But I consider my assistant's advice essential, and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo!
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So,
Oh, really? Well, he seems to be doing a jolly poor show of showing it, isn't he?
so the court will hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Miss Susato. Please.
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their learnings in a moment.
You know, this leaves me with something of a burning question.
Ooh.
But what is the burning issue?
We're not done yet.
I know. I just...
And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain the crucial piece of evidence, what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
We have...
We already
Is it that where we've already examined it, but we've got to examine it again?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, I understand. And thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here.
Let's just take the opportunity to play the game correctly, guys.
I said one last chance. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
Boom.
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photo. I thought you picked the book.
He did.
But I suspect it'll be that you could probably have picked either of them.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, okay. Is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene.
It'll be referring to the back of the book.
The fourth book. The 16th student, the ultimate despair. I mean, the fourth book.
What? That's not even vaguely linked.
No.
That was tenuous as hell.
No.
You're tenuous as hell.
Bad joke. Bad, Taylor. Bad. Naughty.
The fourth book, found in the victim's hand.
Objection! We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. Who will identify this clue at once? Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence.
Oh my god, we know. We've done this.
Well, it's a good show that we've already looked at it, isn't it?
Which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes!
I think you might be right.
So, Counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals? Is it perhaps the cutout of a firearm inside its pages? Or perhaps that weird, strange mark on the back that I couldn't possibly identify?
Oh no, I did the thing.
Oh,
I did the thing. I pressed.
Just like the first episode.
Just like every episode since. I press A to select it, and it's like, no, it's present. Why? Because it's weird, because it's like it gives you...
This conversation seems relatively familiar, doesn't it, Mr.
I
Zato?
suppose it's quite good from like a game design, like game mechanic point of view, though, because it means if you didn't examine it and you get to this point, you're not totally screwed, because you can examine it literally right here and now, and then present it.
Got it.
So that's kind of good, really, I suppose.
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you... Good gracious. Nobody reads the back of a book, Mr. Naruhodo. We're not Japanese. We read books the correct way. It's been burnt to a crisp.
So, we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Oh god, that scarf.
Objection!
I recognise that book.
Unnatural, you say?
Oh no.
And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Oh!
Were I to concede the point if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide?
A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. All right, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorrow tome has suffered?
Its owner.
Yes.
My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth. About the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to.
Yeah, we do know.
The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor, after all. It's obviously hers.
I'd always do this, Pat. Ow. Oh.
I only noticed as well, there was a shot of the back of them just a little bit ago, and the scarf is connecting the both of them. It's like a long enough scarf.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It drapes down the back, but it doesn't separate. It's like they've just got both ends wrapped round, and it just drapes down the back.
Well, because
it's one big
they're
scarf.
one big lovey-dovey couple.
I know,
Why
it's
wouldn't they have
like-
one massive
I
scarf?
mean, do you and Pete have like one scarf that you
yes,
wear
for
together?
sure. Yeah.
Along
Yeah, I
with the
mean,
shirt?
well,
Yeah.
we're in it now. We're also wearing a giant sweater that we're both in, and one big slipper that we've got all 4 feet in.
Nah, now I want a super.
That's true marriage. You get one for every anniversary you've been married. So you get the scarf on your first one,
Also-
then you get the jumper.
It means you only ever have to buy half the clothes. It's very practical.
Yeah, the bra's an interesting thing, but let's not get into that.
It's a bit difficult when I need to go to work as well.
Well, and me too.
Well, you can stay at home, you're fine.
Well, I mean, like when you're going to work and I'm doing my work at home, and it's just like, ugh.
No, have a good day at work, say.
Hey.
No, that's the other way round. That's me to Pete, because I'm always tired.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious, how can you possibly?
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Such a weird spelling.
Yeah, I agree.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
So it's either gonna be...
Don't you look at me?
It's Mr. Garadeb. Mr. Garadeb mentioned it.
Yes.
Alright then.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mr. Moon.
Mr. Moon.
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings.
Yeah, so I wonder if we could have picked Joan as well, either of them.
Maybe, yeah.
Whoa, spin.
A certain Mr. and Mrs.
Oh
Garadeb.
no, you did it. No, my boy, you've done it again. Could you please refer to her as my maid? Terribly sorry.
A certain Mr. and Maid Garadeb.
Thank you. I appreciate
Jolly good
that
show.
greatly, sir.
The landlords?
And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Maid Garadeb herself!
Oh my
goodness.
Oh my god.
But will we be will we be able to determine if this book really does belong to the Garadebs?
Will they throw it in our face in some way? Probably.
Find out next time, because
Yes.
we're out of time.
Afraid so. It is
Yep.
that time again. So once again, we hope you enjoyed. If you did indeed enjoy, why don't you drop a comment down below and let us know how we got on, or what your favourite part is, or whatever, what you'd like to see. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the little bell so you get notified when our new videos go up every Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to be going.
See you later, guys.
Catch you in the next one.
And until next time, remember to keep your books away from fire because it makes them much harder to read.